Welcome to video number 2 on integers and absolute value, where, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start to compare some of these integers and their absolute values. And a great way to do this comparison is to order integers on a number line. And when you graph these numbers on a number line, we should know that the numbers on one side are greater or less than numbers on the other. So if you take a quick look at a number line, you don't have to write this down unless you really want to. Let's say you have a number line right here. And I'm going to just put a reference of 0 there. And I'm going to say I have 5 right here, and I have 1 right there, and I have -3 right here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I should recognize that numbers on the left are less than any numbers to their right. So if I take this -3, -3 is less than 0, it's less than 1, it's less than 5, it's less than any number on its right. So, to fill in the blanks, the numbers on the left are less than numbers on their right. Alright? So, let's just do that. Let's compare, and we're going to use a number line the first couple times, and then we're going to see what we do when we don't have one. Graphing the pair of integers on a number line, then we're going to compare using our comparison symbols of less than, greater than, or equal to. So let's get right away started. The first one is, hey, I've got the absolute value of -2 compared to -12. Well, knowing our order of operations, we've got to take the absolute value of this number to know where it really goes on a number line. And the absolute value of -2 is equal to 2. So I can come over here, I can put right here that 2 is the absolute value of -2. And over here with 12, well, there's nothing we do with that. That -12 just goes on the line right here at -12. Well, -12 is to the left of the absolute value of -2, which means -12 is less than, or the absolute value of -2 is greater than -12. Moving right along to our next example, we have -7. Let's put that on the number line. That's going to go right here, -7. And then we have the absolute value of 6, which we know is 6. And we can come over here and put that on the number line right there. And -7 is to the left. 6 is to the right. 6 is to the right, so 6 is greater. That means -7 is less than the absolute value of 6. So what do we do if we don't have a number line to graph it on? We've got to know our numbers. We have to have a number sense. So once again, using our order of operations, we have the negative absolute value of 20. Well, the absolute value of 20 is 20. And we have to bring that negative down. So the negative absolute value of 20 is -20 compared to 11. And I'm sitting here and I know if I have a positive number and a negative number, that the negative is to the left, the positive is to the right. That means the positive is greater, the negative is less. So the negative absolute value of 20 is less than 11. So now we have the absolute value of 9. Well, that must be 9. We have the absolute value of -9. Well, that's also 9. So how does 9 compare to 9? Neither one's to the right, neither one's to the left. Those two are equal. Going to number 5, the negative absolute value of 10. Well, the absolute value of 10 is 10. We've got to bring that negative sign down using our order of operations. And then we have -5. Well, now they're both negative. Oh my gosh, I've never had to compare numbers that were both negative before. Well, when we think of our number line, and we think of our numbers, how they go, excuse me, you have to recognize that the bigger negative numbers are less. -10 is to the left on the number line of -5. -5 is to the right of -10. That means negative absolute value of 10 is less than -5. Even though 10 is greater than 5, when they become negative, if you take a look at a number line, here we have 0, we have -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5, 6, 7, 8, 9, -10. Right there, -5 is on the right of -10. Got to know that. So you got to be able to compare negative numbers. We're going to order these from least to greatest, ladies and gentlemen, and the way to do that is to make them all integers. So we want to get rid of the absolute values. And the best way to do that, well, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use purple this time. 14 is just 14. The absolute value of negative 28 is going to be 28. And we just have negative 3. The negative absolute value of negative 10, well, the absolute value of negative 10 is 10, and we've got to bring that negative sign down, so we have a negative 10, and we have a negative 28. Now we have those numbers that we can start to look at and think at, and the greatest negative value would be negative 28. It's the biggest number, and it's negative. So negative 28 would be the least valued number. Okay? We have, the next one is going to be negative 10. And that's going to be the negative absolute value of negative 10, because that's where we got it from, right here. So we've used that one. We write down the original number when we put them in order from least to greatest. It's just easier to compare them when they are written as integers. Then we have negative 3. We go to our positive numbers. We have then 14. And then we have the net absolute value, of negative 28. So there's our numbers ordered from least to greatest. So putting them and writing them as integers first is very helpful. Now the last thing we're going to do today is use real life application. And it says that the freezing point is the temperature at which a liquid becomes a solid. Here we have a table. Anytime they give you a table, it's very important to read that table and all the information in it before you continue on. So it says substance, and then it says freezing point. So butter has a 35 degrees Celsius freezing point. Airplane fuel, negative 53. Honey is negative 3. Mercury, negative 39. Candle wax is 55. Our first question says, which substance in the table has the lowest freezing point and the highest freezing point? Well, the easiest thing to do is to think of a number line. Make this one a little bit bigger. I'm going to put my reference of 0. And 35 is positive, so it's going to be somewhere over here. And negative 53, wow, that's going to be way back here. That's a pretty big negative number. We have negative 3. We have negative 39. And we have 55. So now we put our numbers in order. Which one is the lowest freezing point? Well, the lowest freezing point is going to be right here, negative 53, and that happens to be airplane fuel. So the lowest, airplane fuel. All right? And that's negative 53. Our highest, well, that's on here, is our highest number on the number line, and so that's going to be candle wax. So the highest freezing point is candle wax at 55 degrees Celsius. I should have written that in the other one. All right? Our second question, seawater freezes at negative 2 degrees Celsius. Is the freezing point of honey or seawater closer to the freezing point of water, which is 0 degrees Celsius? So they're saying water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Well, to know which one's closer, you can either do a number line or you can do their absolute value. All right? Well, let's just do the absolute value. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. The absolute value of honey is negative 3. So that means the absolute value is 3. Well, 3 is less than 2. 2 is closer to 0. So that means seawater is the answer to the question, which one has a closer freezing temperature to that of water, which is 0. That would be seawater. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends this video. You got to do your second quick write, again on the left side of your notes, where you will need to copy these numbers, and then you're going to order them from least to greatest. I'm not going to read them to you. As soon as I'm done talking, pause the video, write them down, and get it done. Please, 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 if you have any questions on what we talked about, any questions at all, you need to write them down. Or you need to make a mark next to something, or highlight a section whatever it's necessary, anything you feel you need more support from Mr. Ross with. All right? Then you finish off your 45 minutes. Quality effort, a total of 45 minutes. You start working on your assignment. You need to be accountable. Okay? So 45 minutes. Using aggressiveness and urgency to get that assignment done. And we've talked about what that means. That doesn't mean go so fast that you're making a lot of mistakes. It's go a little bit faster than your normal. Okay? A little bit faster than you didn't have. And you start building on how quick you become at math, making it quicker. You start remembering more. You have to concentrate to be faster. Use your time effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, you rock. I am so glad you're with us. I can't wait to find out how much you learned tonight. See you tomorrow.